What is happening, everybody? trueeevil here, and today I really want to showcase some of my matches from last night from when I climbed from rank 50 RTA all the way to top 20. I saw some really cool interactions and I had some awesome games. So let's just go over it with some commentary, and it'll just really give my thoughts on how the meta is developing and probably what units you want to start building, because even though there are some scary things like the Lilium buff right now and sort of things with like Tiamat, you're going to see in these clips that those might actually not be what's scary. So without further ado, let's get in on the action. So this match is really going to highlight the three best SRs currently in the game for Bruiser mirrors. And since Bruisers are the most used archetype, then, well, you're going to want to know about these three and why they're the best. The first one I want to talk about is going to be Viper. And the reason I want to talk about Viper is a lot of people aren't using him as much right now as they previously did last season, but I assure you he is amazing. As you can see here, this Holden does a pretty decent chunk. But as you can see, a lot of people build Holden with that crit chance, and the great thing with Viper is even though his skill 3 gives attack down, his passive actually just reduces flat final damage based off if they crit or not. And that's really powerful because it means that even though some characters scale off defense, some characters scale off HP, we are just, as long as they crit, they're getting their damage reduced. So even though the attack down might seem like a bummer, it really helps because of that. And more importantly, he's a great unit to pick when they have Lilium. As you see there, the Lilium was able to only seal about a fifth of my Sania's HP, and that was because we were able to get that attack down on Lilium as well as have the Viper passive. So I think that's a very important thing. And also, like in this match specifically, it's really nice for Viper to have his skill 1 with the silence, because the Chiaki being silenced is really helping us, because if she isn't silenced, well, it's going to be really difficult to even do any damage. And that's why the next unit I want to talk about is Red Chiaki, because this is not a unit you saw that much during the first season of RTA, and now it's really hard not to see her, especially in that top 50 bracket. Pretty much everyone is building her, and that is for a couple of reasons. The first one is, well, a lot of people have the three main healers built, which is Ling Luo, Sania, and Fushu. And, you know, if you have first pick, you pick Ling Luo, your opponent's going to pick Sania and Fushu, and then what are you going to do? Not have a second healer? Because that's going to make it awkward, because they could just ban your healer, and then even though you might have a very strong team, no sustain means that if they're playing the attrition game, you will most likely lose. So Red Chiaki is a great unit to build in the SR category, but more importantly, she is much better than that, and I'm seeing people pick her over some other characters like Ling Luo, which might sound crazy, but her unique passive, which is Origami Guardian, which if you don't know what Origami Guardian is, you definitely need to know what it does, which is basically every time they get attacked, they that damage is just reduced by 35%, and that is something that's really scary right now because everyone has Bloodbath. So not only are they taking reduced damage from Bloodbath, but they also have a 35% total damage reduction on top of that. It's really crazy, and as you can see, Lilium is a unit that is squishy even with Bloodbath, and their Lilium still has full health, and it's because, well, we can't really do much damage to her because she has 2 stacks of Origami Guardian. And more importantly, Origami Guardian is really powerful because you can stack it up to 5 times, which means if she is able to get like 4 or 5 stacks of it, well, that Lilium is never going to get knocked out the entire match, right? So really scary on that front, and that is why we're also using the Viper. Viper is able to dispel Origami Guardian and really deal with it. And as you can see, my Viper is always attacking the Chiaki to stop her from doing her heal, because Chiaki has some of the best skills in terms of healing in the entire game. And now because the Moonlit Veil is gone, we can actually start doing damage. Because the powerful thing with Chiaki is when you pair it with other effects, such as with Moonlit Veil in this circumstance and Origami Guardian, those two come together to make it so pretty much every Moonlit Veil that's going to happen in the entire game is going to, well, fully heal them, because the damage reduction plus the heal and the turn meter increase, which makes this match very, very tricky. And, you know, you are able to stall it out, and now my Sania basically has lost half her HP, which is something you don't want to see, right? Since she is arguably the best SR in the game. But as you can see, I'm really keeping that silence on the Chiaki to stop the healing so that I can get her down to range, and hopefully soon we'll be able to deal with the Lilium. Now, I would say right now, Green Sania is definitely a unit to look out for because of, well, not only is the revive really powerful, but we have the cleanse on that. There's just like a whole lot of things, but more importantly, the thing that makes Sania so powerful is her skill 1 itself, which might sound weird, but in a couple of the other matches I'm going to be showing, you're really going to see how it's not so much the heal part that makes Sania scary. It's that she gains 30% turn meter every time she attacks. So as you could see there, we were able to just get a whole lot of attacks in that really made it so we could deal with the Origami Guardian, and it makes her a priority unit because even though the revive is nice, what makes her absurd is that we have these stacks of her ultimate that just makes your characters extremely tanky and have HP. So even though that we have half of our HP sealed on this Sania, she's technically at 90% of what her actual HP value is, I believe. I don't know the exact math, but because those stacks are 20% increase of her total HP, she has that, so she has a 40% total increase of HP. So I would say she has actually like 90% of her HP. So even though half of it was sealed down by Lilium, she's still amazing, right? And as you can see, this is really going to help increase the AI arena, or not AI arena, but the PvP effect of the more turns, the less heal, more damage, and it makes it so Sania becomes like an actual damage dealer later on in a game that lasts like this long. And what is really going to shine is that even though Sania is most likely not going to make it through this entire match because they're totally focusing her, what is happening is that she is able to pretty much make it so all the units that I'm going to want to have survive are going to have those stacks and be able to just have so much HP that even though this Holden is really scary, we will be able to attack him down because we have 3 units. Granted, we're definitely going to lose some of our units, but because of Viper's passive effect, it's not going to be the end of the world. And as you can see, currently, we're at the stage where no healing really works, and if we're going to be applying effects like Ling Luo skill 2, it's going to be just for, well, increasing that defense up. Right now, the defense up plus Viper is what's really keeping us in this match, and we're going to just have to be attacking these units and trying to deal with Holden. And as you can see, we got the Holden down, so now we're good to go. So that was a very intense, like almost 8-minute match, and I will say that was really fun in my opinion. Some people don't like those long drawn out Bruiser mirrors, but it was really fun seeing those interactions in my opinion, and really getting to see some units really shine in terms of combos like the Moonlit Veil plus the Origami Guardian. And you just sort of have to play around the counterattacking, which is like Holden is like a, you know, he's like putting your hand in the mousetrap. Like, you got to get rid of it, but like, do you really want to touch it, right? Because then your fingers might get caught in the mousetrap. So that is definitely something you have to work around, and we really got to see some SR units shine. Now, let's see some other units shine with this next game. Now, for this next match, what I really want to highlight is Tiamat, because right now a lot of people are saying that Tiamat isn't good in this meta because there are so many sort of counters to her, such as on this team they have the Lilium and the Makoto, and people are just saying that, well, Tiamat isn't viable anymore because of that. So what I really want to show is just can she work? Is she powerful enough to get through this? And the answer, in my opinion, is absolutely. I think Tiamat is arguably one of the best characters in the game right now, especially once you have that skill 1 and skill 3 max lattice. And I saw some of the other people talk about how they want to reset theirs and it's not worth it, but let me show you the power of Tiamat super juiced up, because I will say she is probably the best investment I ever made in PvP, and I think she will just always continue to be that way, because even though there's some scary things like the Lilium, as long as you're able to deal with her and just like show who's boss, you're good to go. I really like making sure you just have attack down when you're dealing with a character like that. So that's why I like having Holden on my team. That's why I like getting a Viper. Unfortunately, they denied us the Viper pick, which is probably going to be the most annoying thing of this match, if I'm being honest. I hate dealing with a really powerful Viper. So as you can see, really doing a lot of damage after that defense down. And even though Lilium is really powerful, she still suffers with being squishy, which even though she did get these awesome buffs that help her a lot, she still has her biggest problem, which is, well, she's not like as tanky as a character like Holden, which she's not supposed to be, right? But the problem is well, people are just like picking her now because she's so powerful. But the thing is even though she's powerful, we can still lay down that smackdown, especially with some of these juiced up units. And because we were able to get the two best healers in the game, in my opinion, I think Ling Luo and Sania are definitely the best too. It makes it so it's just a little difficult to keep up, especially with the AoE from Tiamat, with the counterattacks that we're getting with the other units. So even though it's a little sad to see Tiamat's HP sealed to 70%, we're still at the point in the match where we're definitely going to just like, it's not a big deal in my opinion. So really like that, and really gets that W. So I showed that Tiamat, when she is fully built, can deal with her counters, but can she still deal with Cleave? A lot of people are doing some different things in Cleave, such as using Heinrich, making sure that the Tiamat is offline as much as possible so they can fully take advantage of it. So let's show off a Cleave match now. So I want to show off a Cleave match using Tiamat, because a lot of people are saying that even Tiamat isn't viable in a lot of Cleave situations because people are using Heinrich. And if you don't know why Heinrich is so powerful, he applies block. And the reason block is so strong against Tiamat is she can't get her passive stacks to turn into dragon form. And even with a Ling Luo cleanse like that, it's just very difficult to get rid of it. As you can see, our Tiamat still has block and isn't really able to get the dragon form going, which is a little sad to see. You know, we want our Tiamat to do what she is made to do. And as you can see, her skill 1 is so strong. She has arguably the best skill 1 in the game, in my opinion, because it lands like a truck. And even though unfortunately we don't have the stacks on her, we can still get those nice heals. And even though it's kind of low, we're able now to get those bloodshed stacks. And as you can see, Ling Luo getting the juice up. That means once we get it to the Messiah attack, if he does decide to do the revelation, we're going to go in the dragon form. And as you can see, the dragon form did not go off. I don't know why that didn't happen. She definitely got those stacks, but now we get to see what dragon form is all about, which is the power of the Twister. I can assure you, Tiamat is still the best way to win at this video game. Nothing is going to change that. If you have Tiamat, you are just chilling. I am all about Tiamat. Everyone should have a Tiamat on their account with a max skill 1 and max skill 3 if you want to do PvP. Because, I mean, look at this. Bam! Twister, Twister. It's absolutely insane on an AoE, on a character that just heals like that. And more importantly, why she is so powerful is not because of what she does, So yeah, just off that game alone, you can really see that even when there is a lot of things stressing your Tiamat down, such as the block right there, she can really shine because she has arguably the best skill 1 in the entire game. She has self-heal, and she's the only character that has like a really strong damage mitigation on your other characters. So when you combine her with characters like Viper, it just makes it such a strong tank team. And because we are in tank meta, we have to respect our queen Tiamat, and she is still queen of this video game, boys. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Lilium may be the new hottest person on the block, but she gets absolutely mogged by Tiamat's spear, as you could see from some of these other matches. Tiamat is still my queen, and Lilium is, you know, she's there, but she's not sitting on the throne like my Tiamat. So just wanted to mention that. Now, for the last match I'm going to show for tonight, it's going to really highlight something that is incredibly annoying, which is going to be Sania. Sania is the best SR in the game currently, and I'm pretty sure she's just sort of always been there. In the betas, she always got like a little bit of nerf before each one, and then she got a nerf before the final test, and then she got a nerf before release, and well, even with all of that, she is still just the best SR in the game. And we're actually going to see her here in something that you don't normally see, which is, well, she's going to get twin tricked eventually. And if you don't know how annoying a twin trick Sania is, we're going to see that. Now, at the beginning of the game, a lot of people were doing these bramble builds on Sania in PvE to really just get the heals just continuous. And the reason why that's strong is because her skill 1, although it doesn't make her skill 2 passive heal, what it does is, well, a maxed out skill 1 gives 30% turn meter increase. So if you're able to loop that with multiple instances, you're getting more turn meter than you could ever imagine. And what I mean by that is that we're getting that combination of 30% turn meter increase from the skill 1. Twin trick gives that 30% turn meter increase. I don't have a Lily, so I don't know the technical numbers. So because of that, I think she gets a turn meter increase too from the twin trick, and then she has Gigabyte. So essentially, she's going to have a bazillion turns. Now, even though this player is a very high rank player, I don't think his Tiamat and is very like built, because like, for example, with my max S1 and max S3 Tiamat, I would absolutely mog on this Makoto that has 80% of her HP built. So because of that, we're really able to take advantage of this situation, in my opinion, and make this game that seems like a pure loss become a W. And the biggest thing here is that Makoto is the counter to Tiamat, and although she is a counter, you know, she's not going to be mogging on some of these units like others. So we're really going to need to watch in for that. So I'm going to play some, no, I'm not going to play some music. We're going to keep the commentating, because this is actually kind of interesting, because Makoto is low on HP. You see that HP bar? It is very low. And that is the great thing about Moonlit Veil. Moonlit Veil is just making it so she has full health. If anything drops, the shields that are becoming from the Artisan are going to be lost, and then she's going to gain that HP bar back. So as long as we keep that Lilium KO, the Artisan plus the Moonlit Veil plus the Artisan from Viper. Now that's a really big thing, is we have double Artisan here, which some people do not use Artisan on Viper, which, you know, I think is a little weird, because I actually really like Artisan on Viper. Now, of course, Jackal Guard's going to make him cycle more and things like that, but in a meta like this where it's tanky, it's nice to experiment and have different shells. For me, it's really a toss-up with Viper, whether I like the Artisan with Bloodbath Strive Colossus Guard better, or do I like the Jackal Guard with the Bloodbath plus the speed. So you should really experiment, because you might find on your team comps to like something that might not be like the standard use, and it could pay off dividends, like in this match for instance. Now, as you can see there, the Sania was able to get a bazillion turns because of the twin trick, and just be able to take like so many extra turns, and this is scary because it means, well, they're going to revive and we might lose all the progress we've made. So what ends up happening, and I didn't realize that in this game because I've never been in this situation, what is actually the best course of action in a situation like this is because Sania is so tanky, it's actually better to go for the Lily instead of the Sania, because the Lily is going to be far weaker, and, well, you know, what are you going to attack? Are you going to punch the boulder? Or are you going to punch like the squishy jello? You know, which one's going to be better for your fist? Unfortunately, I didn't really think about that until after this game. So what ended up happening was I kept trying to go for the Sania. I think I started going for the, yeah, see, I started going for it eventually because I'm like, oh wait, that definitely does a lot more damage if I go for the Lily. I should have been going for the Lily all along. So you're going to be noticing that for sure. And the Lily is still a little bit scary because of that lighthouse too. I don't want to hit her with Makoto too hard and make her lose too much HP. So that is something to keep in mind. And, you know, the Tiamat is trying, but bam, we're able to get there. And because of the shield, we are still good to go. So those are some things I really wanted to highlight. As we saw in that match, we got to see some of the best SRs emerging in RTA right now, which Red Chiaki is definitely different than what I would have put in the top SRs in a lot of other games. And you might be wondering, well, I didn't see a couple of units that I've been seeing people talk about, and the unfortunate reality is sometimes you just need to ban things on site. Sure, Lilith is very powerful in this video game, but I'm banning Lilith most of the time, and I would rather deal with the traditional team comp than deal with the Lilith sometimes with the way I pick. And sometimes I am able to let the Lilith slide, but, you know, it is what it is on these savage streets. What might harm your account is different from everyone. So you might be banning Heinrich where I am banning Obel. You never know. So that's some highlight matches. If you would like to watch me go for that climb to rank 10, I'm going to be streaming again tonight on Twitch at 9 p.m. So I hope to see you guys there and really cheer me on as I go for Mythic. So catch you guys later.